mom's story about a young boy who loves to dress up. My princess boy is 4 years old. He likes pretty things. Pink is his favorite color. He plays dress up in girly dresses. He dances like a beautiful ballerina. My princess boy has a cool brother. His brother plays baseball and soccer, and his brother dances with my princess boy. My princess boy loves his brother. My princess boy loves his dad. His dad tells my princess boy how pretty he looks in a dress. His dad holds his hand and tells him to twirl. My princess boy smiles and hugs his dad. My princess boy has play dates with boys and girls. He likes to climb trees in his princess boy tiara crown. When he plays dress up, he likes to change clothes a lot. He wears a green ballet leotard and dances with his friends. I love my princess boy. When we go shopping, he is the happiest when looking at girls' clothes. But when he says he wants to buy a pink bag or a sparkly dress, people stare at him. And when he buys girls things, they laugh at him, and they laugh at me. It hurts us both. Once, my princess boy wore a dress at his birthday party. He welcomed his friends to his home, and he said, "I am a princess boy." He put on jewelry, and he liked how pretty he looked, and waved his princess boy wand. And then my princess boy was a princess for Halloween. He went trick-or-treating with his brother. One woman laughed at him because he was in a princess dress. My princess boy asked, "Why did she laugh at me?" I told him, "Some people don't think boys should wear dresses." But a princess boy can wear a dress at his school, and I will not laugh at him. And a princess boy can wear pink, and I will tell him how pretty he looks. A princess boy can play with me in pretty girl clothes, and I will still play with him. If you see a princess boy, will you laugh at him? Will you call him a name? Will you play with him? Will you like him for who he is? Our princess boy is happy because we love him for who he is. My princess boy is your princess boy.
Sparkle Boy by Leslea Newman, illustrated by Maria Mola. Jessie adored all things shimmery, glittery, and sparkly. "Look at my shimmery skirt," Jessie said to her little brother Casey, as she twirled it into the living room and her skirt twirled out all around her. Casey looked up from his alphabet blocks. "Ooh, shimmery, shimmery," he said, reaching out his hand. "I want shimmery." Jessie stopped twirling, and her skirt stopped twirling too. "You can't have a shimmery skirt, Casey," she said. "Why?" Casey asked. "Because boys don't wear shimmery skirts," said Jessie. "Right, Mama?" Mama thought for a minute. "If Casey wants to wear a skirt, Casey can wear a skirt," she said. "I don't have a problem with that." Mama went upstairs and came back with a skirt that was now too small for Jessie. "Here, buddy," she said to Casey. "Try this on." "Ooh, shimmery, shimmery," Casey said as he twirled around and his shimmery skirt twirled out all around him. Casey twirled and twirled until he got dizzy and plopped down on his bottom. Casey laughed. Jessie frowned. The next afternoon, Jessie went to a birthday party. When she came home, she raced into the kitchen. "Look at my glittery nails," Jessie said, fanning out her fingers. Her nails glittered in the light. Casey looked up from his animal puzzle. "Ooh, glittery, glittery," he said, pulling Jessie's hands towards him. "I want glittery." Jessie snatched her hands away. "You can't have glittery nails, Casey," she said. "Why?" Casey asked. "Because boys don't wear glittery nail polish," said Jessie. "Right, Daddy?" Daddy thought for a minute. "Most boys don't wear nail polish," he said. "But Casey can if he wants to. There's no harm in that." Daddy went upstairs and came back with a bottle of glittery polish. "Can't you just paint his toenails?" Jessie asked. "And then make him put on his socks?" "That's not a bad idea," Daddy said to Casey. "What do you say, pal?" "No!" Casey shouted. He held out his hands and kept them perfectly still while Daddy painted his fingernails. "Ooh, glittery, glittery," Casey said as he spread his fingers wide so his nails glittered in the light. Jessie shook her head. The next morning, Jessie and Casey's grandmother came to visit. "Abuelita, I like your sparkly bracelets," said Jessie. "You can have one. I have plenty," Abuelita said. She took off a bracelet and slid it onto Jessie's wrist. Jessie swiveled her arm back and forth and watched the bracelet sparkle. Casey looked up from his dump truck. "Ooh, sparkly, sparkly," Casey said. "I want sparkly." Jessie hid her arm behind her back. "You can't have a sparkly bracelet, Casey," she said. "Why?" Casey asked. "Because boys don't wear sparkly bracelets," said Jessie. "Right, Abuelita?" Abuelita thought for a minute. "I've never seen a boy wear a sparkly bracelet," she said. Until now. Abuelita turned to Casey. "Here, Sparkle Boy," she said. She took off another bracelet and slid it onto Casey's arm. "There's no reason why Casey can't wear a bracelet, Jessie. It isn't hurting anyone." "Ooh, sparkly, sparkly," Casey said as he swiveled his arm back and forth and watched his bracelet sparkle. Jessie stomped her foot and ran inside. On Saturday, Daddy went grocery shopping and Mama took Jessie and Casey to the library. Jessie came downstairs wearing her shimmery skirt and sparkly bracelet. Her nails glittered in the light. Soon, Mama came downstairs with Casey. He wore his shimmery skirt and his sparkly bracelet. His nails glittered in the light, too. "Mama!" Jessie cried as she thrust her fists onto her hips. "Why is Casey dressed like that?" "Because that's how Casey wants to dress," Mama said. But that's not how boys are supposed to dress, said Jessie. �K𝐭𝐡 looks silly. I don't think �K𝐭𝐡 looks silly, Mama said, smiling at him. I think �K𝐭𝐡 looks like �K𝐭𝐡. When Jessie, �K𝐭𝐡, and Mama got to the library, story time had already started. They sat in the back to listen, and after the librarian finished reading, Mama went to the front desk to check out some books. Jessie and �K𝐭𝐡 waited for her in the children's room. I like your skirt, a girl said to Jessie. And I like your sister's skirt. Jessie didn't say anything. I'm not a sister, �K𝐭𝐡 said. I'm a brother. You can't be a brother, said the girl. Why? �K𝐭𝐡 asked �K𝐭�. Because you're a girl, she answered. I'm a boy, said �K𝐭𝐡. You are, an older boy said. He stared at �K𝐭𝐡 and then laughed. Hey, look, he called to his friend. A boy in a skirt. The boy's friend laughed too. Then he knelt in front of �K𝐭𝐡. Dude, he said, you can't go around wearing a skirt. Why? �K𝐭𝐡 asked. Because you look weird and everyone will laugh at you, said the boy. Why? �K𝐭𝐡 asked again. Because boys don't wear skirts and bracelets and nail polish. Everybody knows that, said the boy. Right? He asked, turning to Jessie. Jessie looked at �K𝐭𝐡. His face was scrunching up, like it always did right before he started to cry. Why can't boys wear skirts and bracelets and nail polish? Jessie asked the boys. Because, said one of the boys. That's just the way it is, said the other. Not anymore, said Jessie, as she put her arm around �K𝐭𝐡's shoulder. Come on, little guy, she said. Let's go find Mama and go home. Jessie and �K𝐭𝐡 adored all things shimmery, glittery, and sparkly. Especially each other.
Julián is a Mermaid by Jessica Love. This is a boy named Julián, and this is his abuela, and those are some mermaids. Julián loves mermaids. Vámonos, mijo. This is our stop. Abuela, did you see the mermaids? I saw them, mijo. Abuela, I am also a mermaid. I'm going to take a bath. You be good. Julián had a good idea. Oh. Uh-oh. Come here, mijo. For me, abuela? For you, Julián. Where are we going? You'll see, said Abuela. Mermaids, whispered Julián. Like you, mijo. Let's join them. And they do.
Today's story is Morris Micklewhite and the Tangerine Dress, written by Christine Baldacchino, illustrated by Isabel Melanfant. Morris Micklewhite has a mother named Mora and a cat named Moo. Morris likes Sundays because his mother makes him pancakes on Sundays. Mondays are great too, because on Mondays Morris goes to school. Morris likes a lot of things about school. He likes to paint, he likes to do puzzles, he likes the apple juice at snack time, and singing the loudest during circle time. Most of all, Morris likes the dress-up center and the tangerine dress. Morris likes the color of the dress. It reminds him of tigers, the sun, and his mother's hair. He likes the noises the dress makes. Swish, swish, swish when he walks, and crinkle, crinkle, crinkle when he sits down. He takes turns wearing all the different shoes, but his most favorite ones go click, click, click across the floor. Sometimes the boys make fun of Morris. Sometimes the girls do too. Morris pretends he can't hear their words over the swish, swish, swishes, crinkle, crinkle, crinkles, and click, click, clicks he makes when he walks. Morris pretends he can't hear their words, but he can. On Monday, Becky tried to pull the dress right off his back. "You can't wear it. You're a boy." On Tuesday, Eli, Henry, and the other boys wouldn't let Morris ride on their spaceship unless he took the dress off. Astronauts don't wear dresses. On Wednesday, Bea and Lila noticed Morris's fingernails. His mother had painted them for him the night before. They chased him around the playground shouting, "Pinky fingers, pinky fingers!" On Thursday, the boys wouldn't sit near Morris at the snack table. "We don't want you to turn us into girls." On Friday, Morris pretended he had a tummy ache. When he thought of all the kids in his class and all the mean things they did and said, his tummy ached for real. His mother let him stay in his bed and read books about elephants. Moo sat in his lap. Moo liked elephants too. On Saturday, Morris's mother brought him some apple juice. As he took a sip, she stroked his hair. Moo purred loudly. Morris suddenly felt well enough to do a puzzle. He hummed to himself and felt better still. On Sunday, Morris crawled out from under the covers after a wonderful dream about being on a space safari with Moo. In the dream, they saw big blue elephants and tigers the color of the sun that Morris could hold in the palm of his hand. The elephants swish, swish, swish as they moved through the grass, and the tigers ate giant leaves that crinkle, crinkle, crinkled as their tiny teeth chewed them. The buttons on the spaceship click, click, clicked under Morris's fingers. Morris wanted to share all the amazing things he had seen. He took out his brushes, put on his smock, and began to paint, using every color he could imagine. He showed his painting to his mother when he was done. He pointed out the big blue elephant, the tiny tiger the color of the sun, the tall grass and the giant leaves. He pointed out Moo in his shiny, round space helmet. "And who's that?" his mother asked, pointing at the little boy in the tangerine dress riding atop the big blue elephant. Morris was hoping she'd ask. "That's me," he said. On Monday, Morris went to school with his painting rolled up in his backpack. When he had the chance, he put on the dress that reminded him of tigers and the sun and his mother's hair. Morris swish, swish, swished. The tangerine dress crinkle, crinkle, crinkled. His shoes click, click, clicked. Morris felt wonderful. Eli and Henry wouldn't let him on their spaceship, so Morris built his own. He hung his painting on the front of it and climbed in, ready to take off. "Are there really elephants in space?" Eli asked. "And tigers?" "If you follow me, we can find out," Morris offered. Eli and Henry followed Morris to a planet they had never visited before. As they explored, Morris swish, swish, swished. The tangerine dress crinkle, crinkle, crinkled. His shoes click, click, clicked. By the time they returned to Earth, Eli and Henry had decided that it didn't matter if astronauts wore dresses or not. The best astronauts were the ones who knew where all the good adventures were hiding. Morris smiled. He already knew that. When snack time was over, Becky demanded the dress. Morris told her she could have it when he was done with it. "Boys don't wear dresses," Becky sniffed. Morris smiled as he swished, crinkled, and clicked back to his spaceship. "This boy does." The
And Tango Makes Three by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell, illustrated by Henry Cole. In the middle of New York City, there is a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy boat pond where they can sail their boats. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink to skate on in the winter. Best of all, it has its very own zoo. Every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals that live there. But children and their parents aren't the only families at the zoo. The animals make families of their own. There are red panda bear families with mothers and fathers, and furry red panda bear cubs. There are monkey dads and monkey moms raising noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families and cotton-top tamarin families too. And in the penguin house, there are penguin families. Every year at the same time, the girl penguins start to notice the boy penguins, and the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together. They sang to each other and swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Gramsci, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home, so they built a nest of stones for themselves. Every night, Roy and Silo slept there together, just like the other penguin couples. And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something they could not. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch. And then there would be a baby penguin. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it, and sat, and sat. When Silo got sleepy, he slept. And when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam, and Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock, but nothing happened. Then Mr. 𝐸𝐬𝐬 got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. Roy and Silo knew just what to do. They moved the egg to the center of their nest. Every day they turned it, so each side stayed warm. Some days Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days it was Silo's turn to take care of their egg. He sat in the morning, and they sat at night. They sat through lunchtime, and swim time, and supper. They sat at the beginning of the month, and they sat at the end of the month, and they sat all of the days in between. Until one day, they heard a sound coming from inside their egg. Peep, 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 it said. Roy and Silo called back, squawk, squawk. Peep, peep, answered the egg. Suddenly, a tiny hole appeared in the egg's shell. And then, crack! Out came their very own baby. She had fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. 𝐸𝐬𝐬 decided, because it takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food from their beaks. They snuggled her in their nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. Soon Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her for a swim, just like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penguin house with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Welcome, Tango, they cheered. At night, the three penguins returned to their nest. There they snuggled together and, like all the other penguins in the penguin house, and all the other animals in the zoo, and all the families in the big city around them,